So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to join Minister Dabrusin, Minister McDonald, and Daryl Bolio, CEO of Denende Investment Corp, for today's announcement. So I want to begin by acknowledging that we are meeting on Chief Dry Geese territory, the traditional land of the Yellowknife's Dene First Nation. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of all Indigenous peoples, including the North Slave Métis and all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who continue to enrich our community. It's great to be here today and stand with these other committed leaders in our communities and across our country to invest in a more resilient future for our Yellowknife and across the Northwest Territories and Alberta. The Low Carbon Economy Fund is more than just an investment in infrastructure. It's an investment in people, in innovation, and in the long-term health of our environment. Here in Yellowknife, we see the real and growing impacts of climate change. The North is warming 4 times faster than anywhere else in the world. Whether it's the increasing frequency of wildfires, changes to permafrost, low water levels on our lakes and rivers, or the pressure on our infrastructure and way of life, to name just a few. These challenges are not abstract, they are personal to every Yellowknifer and Northerner, and they need real and sustained action from the private sector and every government. That's why today's announcement matters. It's another step toward a more sustainable, resilient, and energy-efficient Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and country. Investments like this are literally just single pieces in a puzzle that is much larger in terms of climate change. Investments like this create local economic opportunity as well. So thank you everybody for being here today. And next I would like to introduce the Minister. So with that, Minister Dabrusin, just a bit of an intro for her, for those of you who may not know. So before becoming a Member of Parliament, she practiced law in Toronto and was a community advocate for public transit, housing, the arts, and the fight against climate change. In both her public and private life, Minister Dabrusin has been involved in climate action work, including work on modernizing the Canadian Environmental Protection Act and building a circular and low-carbon economy. As the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, she's now focused on delivering real climate action while growing a strong, sustainable economy and creating a healthier and more resilient Canada. So with that, Minister, welcome to Yellowknife.
Yeah,
you've been off the
so
plane
much.
for an hour.
Yeah. Thank you. Look, it's lovely to be here and to see all of you out. It is true that I just landed about an hour ago, so this is a nice warm welcome to Yellowknife, and thank you for all coming out. Je suis vraiment honorée d'être ici à Yellowknife pour ma première annonce officielle en tant que ministre de l'Environnement et du Changement climatique. This is actually my first announcement that I have made in an official capacity as a Minister of Environment and Climate Change, and I'm really happy to be able to do it here in Yellowknife. It's incredibly fitting that we are here at Denende Manor, a place that symbolizes what today's announcement is really all about. It's about Indigenous leadership, environmental responsibility, and economic resilience. We know that climate change is already being felt in every corner of Canada, but here in the North, as you just heard, it's happening faster and more intensely than almost anywhere in the country. From the thawing of permafrost to increasing wildfires, these aren't distant challenges, these are urgent realities, and they're being felt by communities right here and right now. The realities that families in Yellowknife know all too well. And these realities have to be met with pragmatic solutions. Those are solutions that are going to prioritize both climate and economic action. Solutions that help communities to rapidly adapt to a changing environment and position Canada as a global leader and climate leader. Today, I'm proud to announce over $13.3 million from the Low Carbon Economy Fund to support 5 innovative projects across Alberta and here in the Northwest Territories that demonstrate the exact solutions that Canadians need. The first 2 projects highlight how we are investing in Indigenous-owned and Indigenous-led renewable energy, energy efficiency, and low-carbon heating projects across Canada. Here at Denende Manor, we're investing in energy-efficient retrofits that will improve energy efficiency and low-carbon heating, lowering the Manor's carbon footprint and saving money. And just to say, we were talking just before we came out here about exactly how that's going to work, about the increased insulation for this building, the building envelope, putting on solar panels. That's going to be really helpful for reducing emissions, but it's also going to lower costs and make life more affordable in this building. In the Inuvialuit settlement region of the Northwest Territories, we're supporting the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation, who will supply ground-mounted solar installation kits to locally owned cabins. And just as I mentioned, these are the practical, community-driven, Indigenous-led solutions that increase energy independence, climate resilience, and lower utility bills. The other three projects that will receive funding from the challenge stream of the Low Carbon Economy Fund are going to be also announced today. That's a stream that supports a variety of organizations across Canada in adopting proven low-carbon technologies to reduce their carbon footprints and save money. This includes Shared International and Cavendish Farms, who will increase efficiency and install heat recovery systems to reduce reliance on natural gas. And Taurus Canada Renewable Natural Gas, which will build a small-scale project that captures and stores carbon from natural sources like plants and animals and turns it into clean energy. By driving innovation and supporting climate-smart solutions, we're not only protecting our environment, but we are also building a strong competitive economy that can thrive in a low-carbon future. Through local investments like these, the Government of Canada is empowering communities, Indigenous leaders, and organizations to lead the way to securing long-term economic and environmental success in their hometowns. L'annonce d'aujourd'hui est un petit pas qui nous fait faire de grands progrès dans notre plan pour avoir un pays fort, sécuritaire et concurrentiel sur le plan climatique. Climate action is how we move forward, and it's going to keep moving forward with the work that we're seeing in places exactly like this. So it's a very big pleasure to be here today. And with that, I am pleased to be able to pass this over to Minister McDonald.
Thank you, Minister Dabrusin. I'm excited for us to take a significant step towards a sustainable future in Alberta and the Northwest Territories today. This $13.3 million in funding supports 5 renewable energy projects under the Low Carbon Economy Fund and demonstrates our collective commitment to reducing greenhouse gas emissions while fostering clean growth, resilient communities, and more opportunities for Northerners. Here in the Northwest Territories, Denendeh Manor GP Limited is being awarded approximately $2.3 million to enhance energy efficiencies at the site, an Indigenous-owned apartment building. Upgrades will include a biomass heating system, energy-efficient retrofits, lowering future heating costs, and creating jobs for Northerners. Biomass heating has already been a success for NWT Housing, which recently won a 2025 Canadian Biomass Award for its work at Sissons Court in Yellowknife. Biomass is a proven and practical approach for implementing the GNWT's commitment to net zero by 2050. The $4.6 million in funding to the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation will provide solar installation kits for Inuvialuit-owned cabins across the settlement region. This initiative will increase access to clean energy and support local capacity building through community workshops. These investments highlight the importance of collaboration between federal, territorial, and Indigenous partners. They are designed to empower communities to play a leading role in the transition to a low-carbon economy. Now, I would like to welcome Daryl Bolio, President and CEO of Denendeh Investment Incorporated, which is a 100% Dene-owned corporation representing the 27 First Nations of the NWT. A little bit of background for Daryl. Daryl served 3 terms as the chief of the Yellowknife Dene First Nation and currently sits on the board of NACA Power Utilities and the First Nations Major Project Coalition. He is a member of the Northwest Tells Community Advisory Board and ATCO's Indigenous Relations Advisory Committee. With that, please welcome Daryl. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you everybody for coming by this afternoon to share this wonderful afternoon. And I'd like to thank Minister Dabrusin for coming all the way up to Yellowknife. And this is not her first visit here. She was in the Nahanni, so she's been up in the mountains. And I just wanted to acknowledge that the Denon National Chief George McKenzie is with here also today. And I believe Shauna Morgan, I don't see Shauna, there she is. Shauna is also with us. Shauna is the MLA for Yellowknife North here. And this is in her riding here. And I have my chair, John Bacali, with us here. He's the chair of Denon Investments. Minister Dabrusin, I'd like to thank your government for working with us and their guidance they've provided and the support in helping us make this building more energy efficient. And thank you as well to everyone that's here today that I didn't get a chance to mention. My name is Daryl Bolio. I'm the CEO for Denon Investments. And I'm proud to say that Denon Investments is 100% owned by all the 27 First Nations of the Northwest Territories. Of course, we own and operate Denon Manor, the building behind me here. And it's more than just a building. It's a home to 11 families and 2 businesses here, right here in downtown Yellowknife. So every decision we take, every improvement we make, and is guided by our responsibility to this city and our member communities and the families who live here. We built the manor in 2003, so for over 20 years, we've heated this building by burning thousands of liters of diesel heating oil every winter. It's expensive, it's wasteful, and it forces us to depend on fuel that has to be trucked in for thousands of miles or kilometers away. And we knew we could do better. That's why we developed this energy retrofit project. And we're replacing our oil heating system with a clean burning wood pellet biomass boiler. We're upgrading our windows, doors, and building envelope. We're adding new thermostats, motion sensors, and key fobs for greater efficiency and safety. Those aren't just upgrades. This is a complete transformation. So the numbers speak for themselves. Every year, for the life of this building, these improvements will eliminate 30,000 liters of oil. It'll reduce our carbon emissions by 85 tons and save us over $40,000 in energy costs. So this project is also creating local jobs and supporting northern contractors and workers. And it means energy independence and healthier, more comfortable homes for our residents. It means we are doing our part to address climate change and showing what's possible in the north. The Low Carbon Economy Fund's investment of more than $2.3 million has made this transformation possible. Without this vital federal contribution, a project of this scale would have been out of reach for us. The benefits of this project extend beyond our building. Other Indigenous communities across the north are watching what we're doing here. They want to know whether these technologies work in our climate and if the savings are real and these investments would make sense. We're creating a proven model for our First Nation members that can adapt to their own communities. In closing, traditional Indigenous values have always emphasized respecting the environment and thinking generations ahead. This project shows how these values align perfectly with modern clean energy, technology, and strong federal partnerships. This is reconciliation in action, working together to build a cleaner, more sustainable future for our children and grandchildren. Marcy Cho, Masi Cho, and Mercy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're now going to begin the press conference portion of this event. So media looking to ask questions will ask the microphone. There will be one question.
It's actually Denendeh Investment built this building in 2003.
And at the time, was insulated the technology of the day?
Yes.
Yeah, so things have changed.
In 20 years, they've changed really fast.
Break out the cost for this project alone, 13 million for all of them. What's the cost for this project alone?
This one is just a little over $2.3 million.
Who's contributing what?
The federal government is contributing 95%, and we're contributing the other 5%. Thank you.
This would create jobs. Would you just put a figure how many jobs this would create and over what period of time?
The contractors and subcontractors total a little over $500,000, but the biggest is the supplies and all the equipment that's needed to build this. Pardon? I don't have that number for you right now. I can dig it up.
The next question would be for the federal minister. The territorial government has been pushing Ottawa for a lot of nation-building projects. Based on your knowledge of any of them, which one do you think is qualified for funding based on its impact on the environment?
So I think that's a larger question about nation-building projects as a whole. And as far as that's concerned, I was really happy to be able to see that we passed through the House and through the Senate the Building Canada's Act, which is going to allow us to build those nation-building projects that Canadians have been looking for us to build. Among the criteria includes clean growth and like how it supports our clean economy. So that's going to be one of the criteria that is applied as we're looking through the different projects that have been put forward.
For something like Mackenzie Valley Highway or the Lake Two corridor, you're familiar with those systems most likely to qualify?
I'm not in a position to be able to say which projects are going to be on that list of nation-building projects. What I can say is that the law has been passed, which allows us to be able to build these important projects. And what you're going to be seeing over the next bit, the Prime Minister is going to be meeting with First Nations, Inuit and Métis people to be able to work on the consultation parts. And we have the criteria that are built into the law itself. All of that will be part of the considerations when we actually build out the list of nation-building projects.
Merritt, CBC News. I have a question for the minister, actually on Dabrusin, yes, on
We have
sorry. On a different topic. This is a question actually from the Ottawa Bureau.
Yeah.
So if you could answer in English and French, that would be great. How concerned are you that some landmark Trudeau environment policies seem to be at risk or repealed, including the EV mandate that Ottawa executives wanted killed?
When the Prime Minister reached out to me and asked me to be Minister of Environment, he was very clear with me that the environment is very important to him and that my job was going to be to work across with all of my ministerial colleagues to make sure that as we're building out a strong economy, as we're building out Canada's energy security, as we're building out projects that support our sovereignty as a country, that we are taking into account environment and climate change. We know it's very important to Canadians that as we do this, we're doing it properly and that we're doing it in a way that actually supports a strong country as a whole, that takes into account our nature and the like. So I very much see it at the center of the work that I'm doing and that we're doing as a government.
And then on the topic of this press conference, I know it was mentioned that if this project is successful, people are hoping to see other communities take on clean energy. How would that play out? What are the steps that would help that happen in different communities?
So we actually have a green building strategy that looks at how we can work towards reducing emissions from buildings as a whole. In my own home community of Toronto, for example, the largest source of emissions is from our buildings. And so funding like this through the Low Carbon Economy Fund, as you heard, provides a model for people to see how it works. And what we're seeing here on the ground is a case of being able to model out not only how it's done, but also the cost savings. And I really want to underline that. Believe that the number, and I stand to be corrected, was $40,000 a year in energy savings. That's an incredible amount of energy savings. Being able to see that actually in the works is something that people can look to as a model, and then that helps people make decisions for future projects.
Minister, Stacey. Sorry, could you answer the first question again in French?
Oh, pardon. Alors, ce que j'ai dit, c'est que quand le Premier ministre m'a demandé d'être ministre de l'Environnement et Changement climatique, ce qu'il m'a dit, c'est que pour lui, l'environnement est très important et que ce qu'il voulait voir, c'est que je travaille avec tous mes collègues, tous les autres ministres, pour s'assurer que quand on fait notre travail, quand on veut travailler pour être sécuritaire dans notre énergie, pour notre pays, notre souveraineté qu'un pays, quand on parle de comment on va bâtir les projets pour notre pays, qu'on pense aussi à l'environnement et que c'est incorporé dans tout notre travail. Et ça, c'est ce que je fais et c'est ce que je vois du Premier ministre comme commitment pour le faire.